We're about to talk about the best goddamn anime I've ever seen in my whole fucking 30 plus years life. And the thing that blows my goddamn fucking mind is this is just the prologue. Skibbity bop dop fuck me sideways. Let's get into why Vinland Saga is a show you need to fucking watch. Okay, so we gotta dive into this. We gotta dive into Vinland Saga. Goodness, this show is so good. If you know, and it's funny because I have not heard much about it. I think I may have heard it spoken about once or twice from like Real Life Ryan. Shout out to him. But other than that, like, I've really heard no one talk about this. And what this show is basically, it's set in historical time of 1000 AD initially is where it starts off, but season 3 ends in about the year 1014. And it basically, you've got this mysterious Norse Viking warrior known as Thors, and you see that he's got all this mystery and intrigue behind him. And he's got a son named Thorfinn, a wife named Helga, and he's got a daughter as well. The show shifts narratives. And you know, it's like type of shows where you think this is the main character, and then lo and behold, it shifts. Kind of like the Hunter x Hunter effect, where you've got technically 4 rotating main characters, although promotional material would make you think that Gon is the only main character when he's not. So in this show within season 1, this is a manga as well, so if you haven't checked out the manga, go read the manga, which I'm doing now myself because oh my god, the story is good. It show initially, our initial main character is Thors, and he is the main character for about 5 to 6-ish episodes, and it goes up until his death. And I know most people be like, oh, it's a spoiler. No, well, it's kind of alluded to in the trailers too. So he dies. His son Thorfinn, who has a complex anger issues, he's got insecurities and frustrations of being weak, frustrations of not being able to protect his dad, who got killed by this other man who you think is a Viking. Hint, wink, wink. You think he's a Viking named Askeladd. I'm really bad at pronouncing his name, but it's askeladd. It means covered in ashes. And basically, he was hired to kill Thors. He kills him in front of his son. He raises him, right? And basically, over the course of 10 years, right, or 11 years roughly, Thor goes from this, you know, misguided youth, you know, just kind of a troublemaker kid. He's a good kid at heart, but he's a troublemaker, to this just cold-blooded, just effectively a hitman for all intents and purposes. And so it shifts to him being the main character for half of season 1. So you see him like being ordered around by Askeladd. So basically Thorfinn will go out and do any of these missions for this ragtag group of, you know, barbaric Vikings, only if Askeladd agrees to allow him to duel to take his life. And so every time they duel, Thorfinn loses, right? He just straight up gets his ass whooped. And it's funny because you would think after 10 years of getting your ass whooped, you'd learn something. But the thing is, and that's part of the character development of Thorfinn, he does not learn from getting his ass whooped. And every time, Askeladd is always informing him like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Stop getting emotional. Stop getting angry. Stop shouting. You know, the easiest way for me to defeat you is because you lose your cool. You get, you know, hot-headed. You lose your temper. And Thorfinn never gets it, right? So remember that. That's the first half of the arc. It's about 20, 4 episodes, Thorfinn becomes the main character, and you just get to see him, how he interacts with other people, a lot of things going on in his mind, and just basically he's a character who is effectively frozen in time. He's just one-track minded. He wants to avenge his father's death, and he wants to kill, Aslan. And basically, because he's so one-track minded, even though he's grown, he's like 16 or 17 years old at this point, he's stuck in the past where his time stopped when his dad died, and that's the only thing that's covering his mind, is he just wants revenge. And so you see different things, like when he interacts with different people, he just doesn't care about anyone or anything. He just wants to kill Aslan, and that is his flaw, is he's one-track minded. And what you're going to start to think over, as a viewer or as a reader, is, okay, so Thorfinn, what happens when you achieve this goal? But on the flip side, what happens if this is taken from you, right? If your revenge, if Aslan gets killed by somebody else, what happens to you? What do you go from here? So that's always going to be a thought that's in the back of your mind. Then we go on, and then we get to the second half of season 1, and the main character shifts from being Thorfinn to being Aslan, right? I'm just gonna say Aslan because I already know I'm fucking up his name. So Aslan becomes the new, main character, or the main centerpiece of where this plot is going. So you get his background, you learn about his origin, you learn about his mother who was a slave, you learn about his father, you learn about how he rose to power, and basically that a guy who we've spent close to 7 episodes thinking is a villain, we're showing a different side of him where he's not a villain, but he's not a good guy either. He's kind of an anti-hero, but a bad anti-hero, but kind of on his own side. You get to see why he's doing what he's doing, the people he's running with. And then you come to find out his origins, that he's actually not a Norse man at all. He's not a Viking. So then halfway through the other half of season 1, it shifts its focus again, it shifts focus to this prince Canute, right? So Prince Canute, he's just the son of the king, or one of 2 sons, and he's just this weak, wimpy, feminine, and I don't say that to offend anyone, but he's just a very feminine looking male, he's very effeminate looking. And so he is protected by this assigned Viking knight named Ragnar, who basically raised him. And so where it goes from there is you see how he initially can't talk, he just doesn't speak to anyone. The only person he speaks to is Ragnar. He cowers behind Ragnar any chance he gets. He's not confrontational, and it just gets you're just looking whose man's is this? Who is this guy? And then you see a gradual growth, because as he starts interacting with Thorfinn looks down on him oh, you're pathetic. He straight up just calls him out in one episode, says you're pathetic, you're a loser, what the hell is wrong with you? And it just, oh my goodness, you just start to see the seeds being planted for Canute to have this major paradigm shift with his character. He's just gonna change. And I'm over here yo, this is getting serious. Things happen, and Ragnar, the protector of Canute, ends up passing away. He gets killed. And that's kind of a theme. This show is kind of like Game of Thrones in a way. You can't get attached to people because you don't know if they're gonna die or anything like that. So what happens next is Canute is in denial, trying not to deal with anything. He just wants to sleep. He doesn't want to have to deal with anything. And eventually, in one of his dreams, he's approached by Ragnar basically telling him he failed him because he protected him from the world versus raising him to be a king. And I don't know how, but this man's fucking balls grow to this size. Them bitches get titanium skin, and the next thing you know, he over here like, stop fighting. I'm going to be the king. You will follow me. You will be my subjects. And initially, you probably think that this is a weird character dynamic, you know, like shift, a paradigm shift, but it makes sense in the reality because they're like little, you know, drippets of information that let you know that this was always there in him, but he just didn't want to let it out. Like there is a point where like they're in the caravan and Thorfinn's like digging into him, like just berating him, and he eventually stands up and says that I have to be careful what I say because I'm a prince, you know, I'm royalty. Things I say have diplomatic repercussions. Like he's afraid of fucking up, and he knows like the weight of the responsibility of his title and position is affecting him. It's planted there that he's fully aware, he's fully cognizant of what he can and cannot do. So when that shift, if you're not paying attention, that character shift will seem like out of nowhere. But if you pay attention to the little details, and this show is all about the little details, you pay attention to the details, you'll understand where this shift is coming from. And it's just, man, it's freaking good. You got two other characters. I don't want to call them minor characters, but they're kind of, one's more prominent than the other. One is introduced as an antagonist and then becomes an ally, and the other one, actually, yeah, the other one too, introduced as an antagonist and becomes an ally, and but one's lesser than the other in the sense of like how much they're featured. So we have another character that does get some, you know, background story and lore developing, and that's Thorkell. He was second to Thors. Thors was the only person that could ever beat him. He was way stronger than him, and he's like he's a 7'7", blonde haired, like just mop top guile hairstyle kind of guy. He's got dual axes and he is a beast. Like this dude takes a fucking javelin, right? He cocks that motherfucker back, chunks that bitch, and we're talking about this dude threw it like, yo, Peyton Manning ain't got nothing on this dude's throws. He threw that sumbitch so goddamn far, he lined up 3 motherfuckers that just went straight through. I was like, goddamn, it went whoosh, and just, I was like, this dude, when he pops up, motherfuckers about to die. They about to die. Like, no bullshit. Them some bitches about to die. Yo, it's wild. Anyway, every time he shows up, folks die. He fights Thorfinn twice in this season. The first time he fights Thorfinn, Thorfinn catches him off guard and just completely cuts off 2 of his fingers, right? And he's trying to go for the kill because, you know, Thorfinn, he's not a very skilled swordsman. He's an assassin. And so he you know, he's a dual dagger wielder. He really just knows how to go for a kill. He doesn't really know how to, you know, deal with elongated sword fights. So he catches Thorkell off guard in their first encounter because he, you know, Thorkell took him lightly. He didn't take him seriously at all. And so he cuts off 2 of his fingers. And you would think that losing 2 of his fingers would bother him. That big Bama don't give a flying fuck. He got excited and then disappointed when Thorfinn got away. And then the dude picks up fucking tree, a fucking big ass log, and chunks it. Oh my god, this dude's fucking gold. He's fucking gold. Anyways, their second fight ends in him breaking Thorfinn's arm, right? He fucking punts his ass in the air, and you know, Thorfinn lands. He lands on some trees, hits the ground. You know, they're fighting in a snowy field, and he ends up breaking his arm. And then things happen where eventually Thorfinn actually gets to the point where he gouges out Thorkell's left eye. And you would think, damn, my eye is gone, I'm gonna be bothered by it. Thorkell doesn't give a fuck. This dude got 2 appendages gone, an eye gouged out, and he is acting like nothing happened. None of this stops him. He's still a beast. I don't understand this shit. This dude is just wild. But he goes on, like, from that point on, he becomes like he becomes an ally and a companion and the comic relief of the story, because he's so fucking simple for a guy that's over 50 years old. It's oh my god, I love this guy. Good god, this show has so much going for it. It's got humor, it's got, you know, historical events, it's got character development out the ass. Like, there's no bad characters in this show. This is like, strap in from episode 1 to here, it hooks you. This show is just that fucking good. If you've got Amazon Prime, go watch this on Prime Video. If I like, and this is controversial for me to say, because people are gonna want to fight me in the comment section for voicing this opinion, but between Berserk, Claymore, and Vinland Saga, again, you got 2 dark fantasies and one the quasi-historical accurate anime. I put Vinland Saga over the other 2. From a narrative, pacing, plot, character development as a whole, Vinland Saga, Berserk, Claymore. That's my order. Y'all can go ahead and stop the video, do your keyboard warrior thing, get angry at me in the comment section. But yeah, that's my take. But yeah, watch Vinland Saga, read the manga, and yeah, let's talk about it. What do you guys think of Vinland Saga? Is it something you're excited about? Do you love like the anime? Do you love the manga? Do you have any thoughts and theories as to where the story is going to go? Do you not think it's that good? Whatever your thoughts are, let's get the conversation going down in the comment section below. And if you want to take the conversation further, we do have Discord as well as Gilded. Links to those are in the comment section below, or description, not the comment section. They're in the description below. With that being said, if you enjoyed this, make sure you leave a like, sub to the channel if you haven't already, ding the notification bell for all new content that comes every single week. And if you want to support what we do have Patreon as well as channel membership. And just so you know, this channel is 100% Patreon and channel membership funded, so without you guys I wouldn't be able to do this as a career. So if you want to support, starts as little as $5 a month. And with that being said, I am signing out. I'm Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii content creator. Hope you have an aloha rest of your day. Deuces wild, too sweet, be the elite. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate your support by those of you who like the videos, who watch them, who subscribe. And for those of you who are my Patreon supporters, thank you for your continued support, because you help make this possible. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support what we do have Patreon on patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova. We also have Coffee as well as Subscribestar. So there's various methods if you want to support the work that we do here. We also have channel membership, so make sure you check that out. That way you get up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes here, and first, and exclusive content as well. And if you enjoy the work that I do and you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So with that being said, Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii content creator. I hope to see you on the next one. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ding the notification bell. And all that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.